It is the City of Moose Jaw's Notorious Jawcast. Thank you for joining us, and a real exciting announcement that you have already heard about by now. No doubt that the City of Moose Jaw City Council approved entering into a lease agreement with Golden Ticket Sports for operation of the City of Moose Jaw's Hillcrest Sports Center. And that's going to mean a lot of enhanced recreational opportunities in the City of Moose Jaw very, very soon. And to discuss that is the co-owner of Golden Ticket Sports, Tanner Brightman, along with our Director of Parks and Recreation for the City of Moose Jaw, Derek Blay. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us.
All right, on. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks, Craig.
Derek, I'm going to start with you. Can you talk about the process of evaluating the Hillcrest Sports Center and its feasibility for future opportunities that all went into where we are today?
Yeah, thanks, Craig. It all started last fall when we received notice from Gymnastics, the gymnastic club, that they were looking to terminate their agreement as they had found an alternate location to run their activities. So, as we walked through the building and looked at, I guess, what do we do next here? We decided to have just a condition assessment on it. We felt that there was still a lot of promise there, and there was some opportunity to potentially invest into the facility to help drive some of our recreation delivery here and have multi-sport courts and different things like that. So yeah, we conducted the assessment. The assessment came back fairly favorable. It was mostly a visual assessment, but I think the things that we were made aware of through the assessment were things that we had already known in regards to the roof and to some of the mechanical stuff. I won't get into a whole lot of detail there, but it was actually fairly promising and showed that, you know what, with some investment, this could get back to a multi-use facility one day, which led us to the expression of interest process, which we undertook in January to see if there was anyone out there who was interested in leasing and operating the facility, also to get some awareness of groups that may be interested in renting the facility and not necessarily operating it. So once that closed, we were pleasantly surprised with the results of that. There were a number of groups that were interested, so we had some further discussions with City Council and with the groups that have expressed the interest, which leads us to the exciting announcement last week where we entered into a lease and operating agreement with Golden Ticket Sports.
So Tanner, you're the co-owner of Golden Ticket Sports. How long have you been around? How long has your company been around?
Yeah, thanks, Craig. Thanks for having me. It'll be about 18 months, so we'll be 2 years in October. And Chris and I here have been buddies for the last 6 or 7 years, working through high-performance basketball around Western Canada. So, yeah.
And so you've got another facility in Saskatchewan already. Tell us about that.
We do, yeah, in Lloydminster. So we're about 6 feet on the Saskatchewan side. So we pass here just barely, but yeah, Hoop Factory came about last May, so it's been about a year actually since the first idea kind of came about, and we had done a pretty good hunt for a building at that point, and Chris, being from Lloydminster and the college coach there, he just saw the demand, you know, for a facility like that in his community. And then by basically August, you know, we were doing the prelim work on it, and then we were open about the middle of October here for programming and everything like that. So it's been really, really well received here by the community. It's only about 8,000 square feet, so smaller than what the Hillcrest is. But even in a pandemic year here, just the community involvement and engagement in the building has been fantastic. So we're looking forward to hopefully being at the end of this pandemic route and tying things together.
Was it always your goal to expand into multiple communities?
Well, even to back up, it wasn't really even our goal to have a building in the first place. You know, the business started off here running coaching and player and consulting here with various different groups. Right now, another division of the company here is we're actually working with Canada Basketball on their Super Clinic, which would be Canada's largest basketball coaches clinic here, taking place at the end of the month. And then, yeah, around May last year, I think we all were unsure what the next year or 6 months or however long we thought this was going to go on for was going to be. And Chris just texted me, so what do you think about getting our own place? And I said, oh man, I don't know. I said, it's never been done before in Saskatchewan. You know, like it just doesn't really happen. There's spots in Calgary and Edmonton, things like that, but we've never done it. And then as we went through the process, we said, oh, this is we do want to do this, you know, it's awesome. And as soon as we had the Hillcrest expression of interest come up, two reasons I think right off the top why we were interested. I think first off was anytime that I had coached provincial team in the summer, we always made a point to come into Moose Jaw to practice. And we would practice at Peacock in the morning, and we'd go to Deja Vu for chicken fingers and a milkshake at lunch. And then our evening practice would be a little slower, after the sauce and the milkshakes. But it was just a great place to come. You could almost get away from the Saskatoon or the Regina vibe and have that. So I really enjoyed coming to Moose Jaw, and it was a big part of it. And then once we got into the space, we just went, man, there's a ton of potential here. Like we could really do something with this. And the condition of the building here relative to what we started with in Lloydminster, it actually was a blessing here. We were going, oh, this is because we put a lot of sweat equity into the Lloydminster one. So,
were you aware of, and I suspect you did do your research on the existing facilities and recreational opportunities in Moose Jaw, and how did that impact your proposal?
Yeah, sure. We did, certainly. And I think Moose Jaw are really no different than anywhere else in the province in the standpoint of that, we as sports people who are indoors rely on high schools and elementary schools and gym facilities like that here to run programming. And I think the pandemic has, highlighted that there is a need for these kind of facilities, right? Whether they be city ran, privately ran, whatever the mix of that is here, it's just it's a necessary thing. So stuff like this is popping up here all over the place. And I think from the conversations that we've had with those who we know in Moose Jaw, just to have a multi-use space like this that is well taken care of, and people who really value sports and multi-sport to run it could accent the community.
Derek, in your role as Director of Parks and Recreation, I guess you'd be fully aware of where there might be some gaps or lack of opportunity for either facilities or sports, and also maybe from what you've heard in the community. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, I know for sure. When we look at the inventory of what we're able to provide in our recreation delivery, there's not a whole lot there when it comes to the multi-purpose sport floors. We do have a seasonal opportunity where we install the sport court at the Kinsman Sportsplex over the summer months, but that doesn't extend into the winter because we have the ice surface. So, and it's really became prevalent here with taking over the Yara Center in 2019. We get a lot of different type of requests for those court type activities. So your basketballs, volleyball, badminton, pickleball, those types of things, and really not something we can offer at the Yara Center. So being able to now be able to provide this through the Hillcrest Sports Center is, I think it's huge for the city.
So Tanner, that's where you come in, and already work is underway at the Hillcrest. Can you talk about the early progress you've made and any kind of timelines you've got in place?
Yeah, sure. We've been, I guess, at work here now for a week today. Painting the interior is, I'd say, about 95% done. So we're going to try and transform the look of the interior, the court space itself here, to not look like your typical gymnasium. I think is the thing that we really appreciate. And anytime people have come into Hoop Factory, there's always, can I take a picture of the gym, or can I get a picture with some of the art that's in there? So we really like that appeal of it. And then, we've got hardwood getting ready to be installed here. It's got to climatize and everything like that. So again, everything goes well. We're shooting for a middle of July open date would be the plan here right now. We'll be pushing out a bunch of social media here and everything like that as we lead up, and some teaser stuff as we go through it as well.
Well, it's all incredibly exciting, Tanner. And I guess one thing, if I could have you explain too, how are you going to pull off beach volleyball?
Yeah, a lot of sand. That'll be the first thing here. So it works out pretty well in the back corner there of the court area. That's when it starts to become a little bit unlevel. So you could put hardwood back there, but you would have to do so much kind of shivving and things like that you don't know what it could be like after 2 years, 5 years, whatever it's going to be. So we said, well, beach volleyball, there's nothing like it here in Saskatchewan. There's not another indoor facility. And Chris and I know some beach volleyball with our Team Sask involved and things like that. And everybody's always saying, even in the summertime, it's hard to get space for a beach. So we said, oh, well, it's a lot easier to level out some unlevel part there with sand and concrete. And we think it's a pretty cool offering. So, yeah.
Well, there hasn't been beach volleyball in Moose Jaw since the former Jungle Joe's nightclub on Moose Jaw's notorious River Street. That's going back a number of years.
right? Well,
So
we'll be going for a different vibe, I think, than the
I can well imagine. Well, Tanner, thanks. When can we expect to see some information about, registrations and those things? Again, you're planning on starting some things in July. When will we find out more information about opening up?
Yeah, sure. We should have something out here either by the end of the month or early June for sure. Just once we tag and kind of tie everyone in. We're the next 2 weeks is basically just trying to connect with the community as much as possible and make sure that we know who everybody is and they know who we are. And yeah.
Well, Tanner, it's very exciting. Tanner Brightman, co-owner of Golden Ticket Sports, signing a lease with the city of Moose Jaw for operation of the Hillcrest Sports Center. Lots of great activities coming, and more at moosejaw.ca. Of course, and we thank Derek Blay, our Director of Parks and Recreation, who's been able to battle through some internet difficulties to fill us in from the city side of things today, Derek. And Tanner, thanks so much for joining us.
You bet. Thanks for having us.